Shadoosh, my ninjas. Welcome back. Joey Moss with Bad Boy Gaming. Mythic Edition is now going to be available with War of the Spark. And you got to ask yourself, is this going to be something they continue to do with every single set? Although this set is pretty ridiculous, and it's going to be well worth the $249 for anyone who has to spend on it. What Mythic Edition is basically they take some planeswalkers and they make them into phenomenally good-looking artwork planeswalkers, and they really do a bang-up job. I'd have to say 90% of the extended or full art, whichever you want to call it, in the past ones has been amazing. You know, there was only one exception, and that was with Karn, which a lot of people didn't really care too much for. They think that it could have been done a little better. And I can't really disagree with them. But now we're Mythic Edition. So here's Sarkhan Unbroken. We've already seen him before. This one's a really, really interesting one. It's Lugan the Spirit Dragon, which is already a very pricey card. Tron players love this card. Commander players, you know, it's a very, very powerful card. When you can pull this off, and it's, you know, it's just devastating. Look at its abilities. +2, Lugan the Spirit Dragon deals 3 damage to any target. -X, exile each permanent with converted mana cost to X or less. That's 1 or more colors. I mean, that's nuts. And -10, you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield to 7. Loyalty ability starting. That's a very, very powerful card. They did reprint this, and if I'm correct, I believe the price of the first one is $60, $70. Between 50 and 70, I'd have to say. I'm pretty sure it's in that range. And it has been climbing recently. There's been a lot of excitement around the card. So what they do, they have a reprint of it in Mythic Edition, which is a very bold move. I mean, it definitely needed a reprint. Now, I do have a qualm with these kind of reprints, regardless of how much I think the artwork is just phenomenal on these cards. They are taking a couple very expensive cards, okay? Jace the Mind Sculptor is the most heaviest price tag planeswalker that's out there. He costs the most. He's been reprinted a few times, but this time he gets the Mythic Edition slot. His cards are currently going for this. Copies of a card like this, not Mythic Edition, non-foil, are going for about $120 to $130. That price does fluctuate between about $110 and $140. And lately it's been on the climb. So they're taking a few very sought-after planeswalkers, and they're putting this in this very limited edition set. Now, the only problem I see with that, and I love the artwork on these. I love the extended art. I like that they're actually getting reprints, but they're making it so it's like, well, if you want this, you're going to pay for it, buddy. And that's exactly what the product is, no matter how you look at it. It's Mythic Edition. You're overpaying. It's $249.99. This is the third run of Mythic Edition. But you are paying for a premium product. It's for collectors. I have to say it's for collectors. I'm sure some people will play these cards, but really this is geared more towards collectors of the game. I know I've had discussions with people before, and I said, well, this isn't a card you're going to see played in a deck. Well, someone who wants to be fancy and show it off, yeah, they're going to. They don't care. But also that kind of person has the money and means to do so. They don't really care if there gets any damage on it. But for the most part, these cards are kept in collections. And the qualm I have is I guess it's not even that big of a qualm. If you want it, you're going to pay for it. That's how it's looking. It's cut and dry. If you get what you pay for, these are cards that are going to be more expensive than the other versions of their cards, with the exception of maybe the first copy of Jace. The original ones, usually in foil, I mean, they really have a high price tag, but that's a Mythic Edition Jace. It's going to be sweet and foil, and a lot of people are going to want them. And I'll tell you right now, the price on that is probably, just for that one Jace alone, is probably going to be about $300, even upon release. Like, it's going to be, it's a very expensive card. It's Jace, the Mind Sculptor. And if it's not, it's going to be a huge price tag. The foil version of that card is a few $100. But having the Mythic Edition, I think, is going to drive up the price even more. But then also this means more hitting the market. That's something else you got to think about. Gideon Blackblade's getting a reprint as well. Artwork, again, this is phenomenal on the Tezzeret. Probably the best Tezzeret artwork I've ever seen. Arguably so. If you guys think otherwise, by all means, let me hear about it. But that's phenomenal. But yeah, these heavy price tags, they're not really going to come down too much, on the Jace and whatnot. Simply because Jace is sought after, man. And it's a limited edition set. And the people who are getting these cards, they're going to be keeping them. They're not so much going to be playing them. That's the majority of people, Tezzeret the Seeker, sweet artwork, man. It really is. That's probably one of my more favorite artworks I've seen in a while, to be honest. I like the clouds. I like all the blues, it's just very powerful. I like the orbs floating around there. You guys know I love orbs and whatnot. Seen some orbs in real life too. But yeah, this is a really, really awesome, it's an awesome set. But they're making it an easy cash grab for themselves this time around. They learned from their mistakes in the past. The last one was kind of devastating. They really butchered it. Hey, look, finally we get to see Mr. Edgar Luke again. A lot of people were wondering where he's going to show up. Well, he finally did. No Urza, though. I know, I'm kind of disappointed. He was decapitated. He's dead. This is true, my friend. But if there's a will, there's a way. They'll bring him back one day. No, not to steer too far off topic, but yeah, it's a great set, guys, just overall. But you're going to have to pay a hefty, hefty price in order to have your hands on this. This is a nice one, too, Nicole Bullis. So between the Bullis and Jace the Mind Sculptor and Ugin, those three cards alone in foil, I mean, I'm assuming the Ugin right here is probably going to fetch, let's say within a month's time of the release of Mythic Edition, I'd say the Ugin the Spirit Dragon foil is probably going to be $150 to $250. That's a guess. It's my guess. Okay, they're selling these for $249. Again, we don't know the print run on it, so it's really it's kind of tough to say. The Jace, within the first month, I'm assuming we'll see a price tag around $200 to $300 that first month. Where the price goes from after that, I don't know. And then the other high-end card, Nicole Bullis, Dragon God. This one's probably going to be around $125, $100 to $150 first month. I'm just saying. They're asking $249. These things are going to sell out quick. They put in really good cards because they know people will buy them this time. The last set was a failure. Was it Ravnica Allegiance Mythic Edition? There were not heavily sought after Planeswalkers in there. There just simply were not. This set has a lot of Planeswalkers with amazingly breathtaking artwork. People are going to pay for them. It's going to sell like hotcakes. It's a fact. There's nothing you can do about it. When you throw a Jace the Mind Sculptor in a product, that product will go up in price over time. The product will be heavily sought after. It's Jace. It just is what it is. I really like the artwork on this with these. It's going to look sweet. All these are going to be in foil, by the way, as well. It's one thing I've neglected to say, but you are guaranteed 8 of these in a Mythic Edition box. You're guaranteed 1 of each copy. What are your guys' thoughts on Mythic Edition? I'd love to hear about it. Here's the end of the War of the Spark spoilers. There's Dee Spark here, which is sweet artwork again. 2-drop, exile a target permanent with converted mana cost 4 or greater. It's an instant. Not bad, but then again, what if your opponent's running some kind of weenie deck, This card might not be the grand cupcake you want to main board. So I do think it will see some sideboard play, but in this current meta, it'll probably be in main boards because it looks like they're going to go the distance. We're not going to see a lot of really fast games. I think there's going to be more... I think the meta is it's going to be more complicated. There's going to be more thinking involved. There's going to be more interest. I mean, there's more cards in standard now. The more cards that are in standard, the more crazy shenanigans can be pulled off. What we're going to see. Unlikely Aid is a 2-drop. Target creature gets +2/+0. Gains indestructible until end of turn. Damage and effects that say destroy, don't destroy it. Yeah, that's indestructible. I'm surprised they put that on there, but I'm glad they did. I think they know they have new players coming. Pretty decent card. Giving something indestructible until end of turn and just taking out a creature with it is pretty cool. I think Unlikely Aid will see some play. Rubble Belt Rioters is a 3-drop. Human Berserker Haste. Whenever Rubble Belt Rioters attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. It's 0-4. Not bad. It's okay. It's an okay card. I don't think it's not like a key asset, not something Gruul needed, you know. But this could really be big. I mean, if you have a large creature out there that has haste, the only problem is it doesn't have like trample or something on it. But that's some quick damage. You know, you can catch your opponent off guard. It could come in handy. We'll see. But then again, you already have a huge creature out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Command the Dread Horde is a rare 6-drop. Choose any number of target creature and or planeswalker cards in graveyards. Command the Dread Horde deals damage to you equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. Put them on the battlefield under your control. This would be a great finisher in a life gain build. You know, you just stay alive for as long as you can, gaining life and doing whatever you can. And then you drop something like this, or even like a one of in a control build I can see, you know, or something. But Command the Dread Horde, I believe it will see play. I know it does look very intimidating to pull off, but in the right build, like I'm telling you, the life gain decks, this would be just a great way to finish the match. You know, just have a bunch of destruction and removal and life gain, and that's it. And then you have like 1 or 2 copies of this in the main, and bada bang, it's powerful, man. Enforcer Griffin, it is a 6-drop though. It's definitely a game finisher. Enforcer Griffin's a 5-drop flyer. 3/4 Griffin, pretty plain Jane. Ironclad Crovad is a 4-drop 2/5 beast. Again, plain Jane, just some stuff. Probably see just some limited, you know, whatnot. Snare Spinner. I think this card's kind of neat. It's a 2-drop reach. Whenever Snare Spinner blocks a creature with flying, Snare Spinner gets +2/+0 until end of turn. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it'll slow down, you know, your opponent if they have those hasty mono white builds, or even, you know, some crazy hasty mono blue builds now. You can easily just say, nah, you're not going to attack with that crap. I mean, this card alone right here can just shut down one of those blue builds, mono blue. What do they call it? Mono blue? I can't remember. But the mono blue one that's been everywhere that everyone just can't stand. They all detest it. This can slow that card. This can slow that whole deck down drastically. You know, it really could. Crawl Stinger. It is a 3-drop Death Touch 2/2. Not bad. Anything Death Touch, of course. Going to see some limited play, for sure. Divine Arrow deals 4 damage target attacking or blocking creature. Again, limited. Vampire Opportunist. It is a 7-drop. Not a 7, it's a 2-drop, but 7 for its ability. Each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life to 2/1. Yeah, it's cool. Again, very limited play. That's extreme amount to request to drain your opponent of 2 life and to gain 2 life. So yeah, you're not going to see this being played too often. New Horizons is a 3-drop enchant land. When New Horizons enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Enchanted land has tap, add 2 mana of any one color. I think that's great. I think it's pretty sweet. Enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That's great. And then enchanted land, tap it, add 2 mana of any one color. It is only of any one color. If it was of any 2 colors, I mean, this thing would be pretty nuts, and I guarantee it would see a lot of play. But I'm just not sure how much New Horizons we'll see. But that's adding 2 more mana. Probably a lot of play, I'm going to assume. It's a powerful card. Mana Geode. It's a 3-drop. A Mana Geode enters the battlefield. Scry 1. Tap it, add 1 mana of any color. Not bad, but again, most likely limited play. But with Ugin, it only costs 1 to bring this out. But then again, if you're casting Ugin, you already got 6 mana on board, you know. I don't know, we'll see. We have the Giant here. It's a 6-drop. When the Giant enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. It's really not bad. We've seen stuff similar to this. It is a 6-drop though, and it's a 4/5. It's pretty steep, honestly. But in limited, this is going to be a bomb for sure in limited. But in your regular standard builds, I can't see it really getting there. There's just nothing else. If it had a secondary ability, it'd be great, you know. But then again, it'd probably be more along the lines of an uncommon or rare, you know. Battlefield Promotion's a 2-drop. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. That creature gains first strike until end of turn. You gain 2 life. Not too shabby. I do like that. I think they have this set really stepped it up. Not only in the commons, I mean, not only in the rare and mythic slot, but definitely in the common, uncommon, and rare slot. But for sure in the common slot. You don't see a whole lot of junk anymore. You see some decent stuff. You know, you don't just see cards that are just not going to see any play anywhere. I think there's quite a few cards in this set in the common and uncommon slot that will see a lot of play. Believe it or not. We'll see how it pans out. That is the end of the spoilers for War of the Spark. Let me know your guys' favorite card. I think right now mine would have to probably be the Bullis. I do like the Bullis. He's a beast, man. No, he's a dragon. This is true. This is true. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button. It does help out a lot. If you're not subscribed, go get checked out. Thanks. We'll see you. Skadoosh.